The United States just sealed off one of the world's most critical oil arteries, and global markets are already breaking. More than 90% of normal flows have stopped. This is a seismic act of state power, enforced at sea, felt in every market. One decision cascading through the world economy. But to understand what this truly means, you need to know what happened and why it matters to you. To understand this crisis, you must first understand the geography. The Strait of Hormuz is a narrow channel connecting the Persian Gulf to the open ocean. At its narrowest, only about 33 kilometers, 21 miles, wide. Inbound and outbound lanes are each just 2 miles wide, split by a 2-mile buffer. Roughly 20% of the world's oil and major LNG flows normally transit here. On February 28, 2026, US-Israeli airstrikes hit Iran. Tehran moved to restrict the strait. Flows collapsed, a deliberate choke on the world's energy lifeline. Washington escalated, announcing a naval blockade of Iranian ports on April 13th. More than 10,000 personnel, warships and aircraft moved to enforce the cordon. By April 15th, vessels were being turned around. Unauthorized traffic, zero. Here is exactly what is at stake. Physical crude prices have surged toward $150 a barrel, unprecedented in scale. OPEC Plus output fell 9.4 million barrels per day in a single month. Outages peaked near 9.1 million, draining global inventories by over 5 million barrels per day. Exports transiting Hormuz collapsed to about 2.3 million. Roughly 10% of pre-war levels. Energy equities are surging even as the real economy strains. Asian markets, China, Japan, South Korea, India, are hit hardest by supply loss and freight reroutes. Fertilizer costs have jumped 50%, priming a food price shock into 2027. From fields to shelves, energy inflation lifts every input and transport cost. Europe faces a jet fuel crunch, perhaps 6 weeks of cover if flows don't resume. Freight slows, rerouting adds days and dollars across global supply chains. This is not just the pump, it's power bills, groceries, and the cost of doing business. The IMF cut its 2026 growth outlook and warns of an adverse scenario with persistently high oil. Industrial margins compress, recession risk rises as energy bites. Hundreds of millions of barrels are effectively stranded, a fundamental break, not a blip. A single choke point became the fulcrum of the global economy, and it just shifted. Scenario A. Diplomacy succeeds. A multilateral mission pressures both sides, reopening partially by mid-2026. Oil retreats toward 100 to 110 as a secure corridor holds. Scenario B. Stalemate. The cordon endures, prices hover above 130, inflation and recession risk extend. Scenario C. Escalation, wider closure, perhaps Red Sea spillover, $200 oil becomes plausible. Watch food, fuel and freight, the trinity that turns energy shocks into everyday pain. At Global Economic Hub, we track every development so you don't have to. Subscribe, because in a world moving this fast, being informed is not optional. Will this blockade break the global economy or break Iran? Drop your prediction below. If this video gave you clarity, share it. Someone in your network needs to understand what is happening right now. Subscribe to Global Economic Hub. We publish economic intelligence that cuts through the noise. And hit the notification bell, because the next update on this story could move markets within hours.